monster. Will I make it through the night? We're gonna get reckless tonight. We're gonna drink till we run dry. Break the clock so we don't run out of time. And get a little reckless tonight. Let's get reckless. Now why'd I take her home with me? Man, she's still in my bed. And what are these marks all over? I'm alive but I feel dead. Why'd I drink so much, man? Damn them twisted teas. Why's my bar tab so high? There's no one to blame but me. We're gonna get reckless tonight. We're gonna drink till we run them dry. Break the clock so we don't run out of time. And get a little reckless tonight. Let's get reckless. You know we're gonna get reckless tonight. Oh boy, you know it. Every time we go out, we're gonna go to that little derby party and find us a little hobby, you know what I mean? Hell yeah, hell yeah. Eddie Gore's coming too, though. Ooh, yeah, let's get reckless. We're gonna get reckless tonight. We're gonna drink till we run them dry. Break the clock so we don't run out of time. And get a little reckless tonight. Let's get a little reckless. Yo, man, did you just pour me a double? Nah, man, that was a triple. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. We gotta call Uber. Hey, man, whatever it takes to get to her house, you know? Let's get reckless. And an hour left to go. Tail lights and highway signs, painted lines on the road. Tunes up, windows down, we're fighting back the sleep. See, it's windshields and truck stops are all we get to see. 3 stars, no minibar, just a shower and a bed. Kick drums and guitars still ringing in my head. Tired as hell, but still can't sleep. 4 hours till sun up. Then it's Advil and Gatorade, and we're right back in the truck. And I'm off to play rock star again, off to a place I've never been. Those neon lights and empty bars are just stepping stones to who you are. There's a good chance that I'll never be. Is this life a curse or some kind of dream? Maybe a game that I'll never win, but I'm off to play rock star again. It gives from me, it takes from me, and it's worse than any drug. It'll chew you up, it will spit you out until you finally had enough. But then you think you're done, you think it's gone, and it pulls you right back in. 'Cause you can't eat, you can't sleep until you're on that stage again. She said, give up, it's time to grow up. You don't have what it takes. You're a dreamer, not a real man, and it's time we make a change. But if a real man works a dead end and is back until it's broke, I hope you found him and you're happy, and I'll ride you from the road. Where I'm off to play rock star again, off to a place I've never been. Those neon lights and empty bars are just stepping stones to who you are. There's a good chance that I'll never be. Is this life a curse or some kind of dream? Maybe a game that I'll never win, but I'm off to play rock star again. When you're out there on the road, all you think
Sunday night short track racing, something none of us ever thought we'd ever hear. But here we are with the iRacing virtual simulation here at Stafford Motor Speedway for the East Coast SK Modified Tour. Here with Wesley Hogue, Rowdy Wesley Hogue, easy enough for me to say, here on Verdane TV, and as always, I'm Paul Strickland Jr. Wes, we're ready to go. These guys are lined up. We got 49 guys qualified for this event. We took the top 20 qualifying times, and we're running the first of 2 heat races at this point in this race, and we're going to be taking the top 5 finishers that haven't already qualified in this heat race, moving them onto the feature here a little bit later on tonight. Rowdy Wesley Hogue, how's it going tonight?
How is it going? How is it going? Good to be here again with you, Paul. Last week we came here and we watched Alex McCollum completely dominate from flag to flag, and not only in his heat, in his feature. Let's see what these guys got today as the pace car, that beautiful Mustang. The lights are off. We're going to be going green this time by.
Doubled up all the way throughout the field here, smaller field, because like we said, it's a heat race. The top 5 guys here in this race are going to be moving on to the feature race tonight, and we're going to have a feature race, 75 laps in length, and we're going to have 30 drivers in that race.
Yes, all right, and your top row here, as we're about to take a green, is Timothy Pollard in that 01. Next to him is going to be Dale Gerard Jr. We saw him put on a show last week. And the lights are off, the pace car is down, and we are green flag racing here at Stafford Motor Speed.
12 laps on the board as Timothy Pollard pulls the lead just a little bit. Looks like he's going to clear that 13 of Dale Gerard Jr. machine on the outside, but he's not done yet. He's going to come back up fighting on the outside.
Close battle there for that top spot. And we got one turn around, the 47 car. Not exactly sure if his real number, that is his iRacing number. We got a couple turned around here in the back. Looks like it's actually the 51 of Sandra Bello was involved in it here, as we're going to come back to the replay. Didn't take too long. Got one on our roof here on the front stretch as well at the start-finish.
Yeah, we're taking a quick look at the replay here, Wes. We got it slowed down, slow motion. It looks like the 47 came down across the nose of the number 2. Just nowhere to go. Spun that car right around, and we'll see if we get. Looks like he collects the 2 just a little bit. A couple of cars driving right into the back of those machines. So, we got a car, a Whiskey River car, looking up almost upside down, driving up just a huge, nasty wreck here. Stafford on lap number 3.
And that is the ride of Michael Curtis, the 24 machine, and that's probably going to end his day. Again, nobody is really guaranteed in these races. If you wreck out of these heat races, you may not be going on to the big 75-lap feature. So, but nonetheless, Paul, that was pretty quick, intense, straight in our face. They didn't take any time at all to start putting on a show here for us. And
you'll get that here at Stafford Speedway. I've been going 5 or 6 years now, every Friday night, and you're never going to miss the action. They're always action-packed here. They like to call it steel cage racing, as it were, and you're going to get the virtual dose of that tonight. Right now, we've only got 14 drivers on track, but we're going to be bumping those numbers up here in just a bit. We're going to get these heat races out of the way, move on to the A feature, where we're going to have 30 drivers. Most everybody here is actually from the northeast section of the country, and a lot of these guys, you're actually going to be able to see them in various different cars at Stafford Speedway and a lot of the tracks up here in the northeast.
Paul, as we focus on our race leader here, the 01 of Timothy Pollard, he was able to start this race on the pole, and typically in short track racing, if you know what you're doing, you're going to get that whole shot, and Timothy was able to do that. But Dale Gerard Jr. in that 13, he's not known to be a driver just to lay down. He is an aggressive driver that will put the bumper to you if need be, but at the same time, he will be clean, as clean as possible. He'll race you how you race him. And we are now seeing a single file restart just because the wreck happened so quick on the start here. We're going to go single file here, coming through 3 and 4. Lights are out on this Mustang. Pace car is down, awaiting the fire, and the leader fires off in that 01 machine. We are back green at Stafford Motor Speedway.
And a little bit differently in real life, you don't actually have to technically wait for the flagman after the initial start of the race. Here with the iRacing rules, the leader starts the race and they can pretty much go anytime the pace car pulls off a pit road. But we're single file right now for the first 5, 6, 7 cars. Everybody kind of biding their time. They about halfway through.
Oh, we got one around, Paul. We got the 15 is right around here for us. I believe that is the 15 ride. Not expecting that of Justin Strump. He goes around right in 3 and 4. It looks like he may have gotten a little bit of help, and no, he looks like he lost it on his own a little bit. Then the 43 finished him off. Get a quick replay of that.
Yeah, taking a look at the replay, we got it in slow motion right now, and he's down on that flat part of the apron, and it's really, really super flat, and there's a lot of marbles down there. But it looks like he's a little bit sideways, a little bit sideways, a little bit sideways, and he just goes to overcorrect it just a little bit, and as he does that, the back end of the car comes around. Looks like he's gonna turn right across the nose there, the number 40, we're gonna call that the number 43 machine, and just kind of sends it off into the pavement there. Doesn't look like there's too much damage, but you can definitely tell that that driver shook up just a little bit. So we'll see what that does here at the end of the race here, Wes.
Yeah, that 43 ride. I don't know if he just didn't have anywhere to go there. He didn't have much room, I'll tell you that. But nonetheless, that might be it for Justin. I believe that he's going to be retiring for the race, and that was Craig Lutz in the 43. Tough break for Craig. You don't want to have any kind of damage in these short races. It looks like Justin has disconnected from the server, so that will be it for Justin. But back up front, we saw Timothy Plurd get that run again as our lucky dog car comes around of Sandra Bello in that number 51. Sandra's going to come around in the 9th position as the lucky dog coming across the line there. But Dale Gerard Jr. sitting second. Third place is Anthony Marvaglio. We struggled with that one last week, still struggling with it. Fourth place being Nick Farlino in that beautiful 44 Monza machine. Beautiful, beautiful ride he has there. Paul Bazell in the 5th position in the 9 car. Followed up by Craig Lutz is still out here as well. But followed up after the 9 car, you're going to have Kevin Pittsinger in the 50. The 75 of Ryan Plord. The 43 of Craig Lutz, and then you're going to see the 51 making its way back around as the pace lights are still on, so we have at least one more lap of caution here. And we just jumped on. We're only about 7 minutes and 56 seconds have elapsed. 2 cautions already. These guys are beating and banging, and we're just at the beginning.
Yep, looks like we got 3 or 4 guys down on pit road, drivers down on pit road, getting a little bit of repairs. They're not taking tires. That's one of the rules here at Stafford Speedway. The virtual sense, Dylan Kopak, the league administrator, flat out said last week, if he sees your car jacked up in the air, you will be parked. These guys cannot take tires throughout qualifying, throughout the heat races, or the feature event. So you really got to take care of your stuff here at Stafford Speedway.
All right, and the pace lights are still on, so I think we have one more to go.
Everybody kind of gathering their thoughts at this point. You want to make sure you get a good finish, but you want to make sure that you're not overdriving the car or anything like that. You don't want to hit the wall. You don't want to come down, and you don't want to drive through the grass. And you want to make sure you keep an eye on that apron down low. Pace lights are still on that Mustang pace car, so you're going to have to wonder if they're doing a little bit of virtual track cleanup, as it were.
We've seen that before. Not only that, we've seen some interesting glitches with the pace car this week, especially at Bristol. Hopefully we're not having a glitch here. I'm going to listen into the race control here, see.
Wes is going to see if he can get to the bottom of it. We're just watching through, taking a look at the 01 car right now. Timothy Plord leading this heat race, has led it from flag to flag so far. As we made mention earlier, this is heat race number 1 at the virtual Stafford Speedway here in the iRacing Simulator. Here for race number 2, the East Coast SK Modifieds. And looks like we're going to get 1 to go. The lights are finally off on that pace car. And this is going to be a... nope, I lied. It looks like we're going to finish that under caution. Going to finish that heat race under caution, as it looks like, and we're going to get these guys stacked up for heat race number 2.
All right, Paul, so that is it for that one. So it looks like Plord's going to win this one. They decided to end that one under caution, so if we want to go through our field real fast here for us, Paul, let's start up front. Didn't expect that to end under caution, but so be it. So starting on the pole will be the 33 of Ted Grove. Starting second place will be the 1 of Tyler O'Leary. Starting third will be the 38 ride of Mikey Flynn. Starting fourth will be the 18 machine of Jeffrey Ferrugia. I'm going to struggle with that one tonight. Behind them is the 34 of J.B. Fortin. The driver right next to him to his outside will be Nicholas Salva in the 8 ride. The 8 ride is blinking in and out a little bit.
A little bit of connection there for the 8 car.
Nicholas Hovey will be in the 16, followed up by the 78 of Steve Lombardo. The 98 of Ray Parrott Jr. as we see them start to roll, followed up by Tyler Alkis, in the 89. And then rounding out our field will be Brandon Wilkinson in the 56, and an awesome throwback look for the 84 of Jason Blatz. That will round out your field here, and again, this will be a quick heat race. This will only be a 12 lap or 5 minutes, so it's 12 laps or 5 minutes. You should be able to get 12 laps done here in 5 minutes if you get a clean start, I guess.
Well, that explains it for us up here in the booth and the viewers at home. We didn't get that race finished in under 5 minutes because we had a couple of quick cautions there. So that's why we ended that first heat race under caution and took those top 5 drivers and moved them on right on to the entry list for the feature race here tonight.
All right, Paul, this is the final pace lap here, final parade lap for these guys. They're ready to rock and roll. They've been waiting a week to get at it. They're all the swerving and the warming up the tires is done. The Ford Mustang, it makes its way down pit road. That 8, it's still having some connection issues. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the night. The flag is out, and we are back green here at Stafford Motor Speedway.
Really tight start there up front. No.
Oh, we got one around, Paul.
Ooh, hard contact into turn 1. We'll back that up on the replay right away.
Hard wreck. We got one on his roof. The 34 is on his roof as well. Big trouble here for J.B. Fortin, Jeffrey Faruga, and more.
Just looking at these cars right on top of each other heading into turn number 1. You got to wonder if the 8 was involved there with the little bit of connection issue. We see if we can take a look at it, but it unfortunately doesn't look like he was there throughout that entire wreck. But we'll take one more quick look at it here. You can see guys just carnage all the way through the turn at this point.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Not expecting to see someone on their lid in not one heat race, but 2 heat races. And I believe that wreck was actually going to be knocked up to the Dylan Kopech, or the Nicholas Hovey ride. Nicholas Hovey will be the one getting the black flag there and told you got to go to the end of the longest line for causing that wreck.
Yep, and that's exactly it. We're just taking a look at slow motion here. The 34 car on the lid, sparks flying from underneath that machine, or on top of that machine, depending on how you're looking at it. But luckily here with the virtual sim racing world, everybody is okay because everybody is sitting in their bedroom on their computers. So it's pretty cool there. You got a couple of cars, actually it looks like 3 cars to be exact, that are lined up on pit road that are kind of taking the hammers to those cars just a little bit, virtual hammers obviously, to see if they can't bang any of those dents out of the cars. Try and get them back out here, to wrap up this heat race and head on down to the feature.
All right, just listening to race control here. Now, we do have some drivers in our Discord channel, and if you're not familiar with Discord, it's kind of a third-party way for the drivers to be able to communicate outside the server, as well as us be able to communicate with the drivers outside of the server. If a driver wins a race, we will be more than happy to interview them in Discord, as well as we plan on interviewing the top 3 at the end of the event tonight. Get a quick word from them, and possibly, here and there, we're going to try to get some driver interviews right from the cockpit of their seats. And it looks like the pace car here, the lights are still on. This might be it for this one as well.
Yep, you got to figure we're on lap 5 of 12 right now, so we may very well be ending this under caution. We're going to try and get it going back under green here. It's all going to come down to whether or not the race officials want to go ahead and get this green flag racing underway here for this second heat race.
Cool thing is we still have a channel to listen to the drivers speak and kind of get an idea of what's going on. And these guys, they're really anxious. They hate pacing around here, just going at minimal speed, and they hate this as much as we do, as much as the rest do. And that's what the site that we want to see, Paul. The lights are off.
Lights are off. We're halfway through the race. We're going to get this heat race restarted here. You got to figure it's going to be. Looks like it's going to be a single file restart, as we had that quick caution right after the green flag there right on the first lap. So these guys are going to kind of pull the virtual belts tight. Going to head down into turn number 3 and 4 here. Come out of turn 4 as the pace car pulls off. Mustang pulling around down that long pit road, and right off the rip, green flag's in the air. The 33 gets a great restart. It's got 4 car lengths heading down into turn number 1. Ted Grau over Tyler Leary.
The rules in iRacing is once the pace car hits pit road, the leader can go at any time, and that's exactly what we saw from Ted Grau. If Ted Grau wins this, we will begin an interview with him as soon as he takes a checkered flag here as he begins to grid. But as back up front is Ted Grau, showing the way here. Second place is Leary. Leary's under pressure now from Mikey Flynn in that 38.
Mikey Flynn kind of dipping his nose down low on Tyler Leary, the one trying to hold off that Mikey Flynn machine. And you see you got the 4th place car of Ray Parrott Jr. He's up in this mix too.
They're starting to battle it out a little bit further in the back as well. Some nice side-by-side action between the 78 and the 89, but back up front, we have, here's the battle. The 98 gets sideways. 98 almost makes contact with the 38 after touching the grass, but he's able to control it. And we stay green here through 3 and 4, but the 98 of Ray Parrott Jr. definitely had a moment there.
And that's hard to recover from in real life. It's hard to recover from in iRacing in the simulated world. And it's great to see. We got a little bit of sideways. Oh, we got a car in the wall. Looks like a blue car back in the wall. 3 to go. The caution comes out. You got to figure this one's going to be over. See if we can take a look. See what number exactly that was.
89 of Tyler Alkis. The 89 of Tyler Alkis, Paul. He's slow on 1 and 2. It looks like he got a little bit of help from the 56, and by a little bit of help, I mean the 56 drove right through him. He overcorrected and put in the wall as you're.
Yep, we're taking a look at it right now in the slow motion replay. 56, you can see he just kind of pushes just a little bit, and the 89 doesn't really have anywhere to go with the 78 there, so he wants to try and slow up just a bit. And it looks like just nowhere to go at that point. The 78 kind of doesn't come down, but he gets caught up on the 78 car and just overcorrects and slams that car right into the wall.
Absolutely, and that should be the end of it, as they're going to come around, take the white and yellow here. That means Ted Grau will be your winner. We're going to get him here in the booth in a second. But man, what an action-packed heat race!
That's it. It's 2 heat races down, and we're ready to get going for this feature event. And if these 2 heat races show us what kind of action we're going to be looking for, once these guys kind of get their heads on straight, get everything going, pointed in the right direction, we're going to be seeing some great racing here at the virtual Stafford Motor Speedway.
Unlike real life, I know a lot of these short tracks don't count their caution laps, but unfortunately we do here in iRacing, unfortunately. But it is what it is. These races happen pretty quick, but your winner will be Ted Grau. And I'm going to get him up in here with us here in a moment. We're going to get a quick little interview with Ted, get a quick word.
How'd that Evergreen car look on the stream?
Hey, Ted, this is Wes Rowdy Hogue here with the stream. You are in the booth. You just won the second heat race. Give us a little bit of a feel, a little bit of a play-by-play action there. You were able to lead it. Fact.
Yeah, it was tough. I missed out on qualifying by 2 spots, and first time running with these guys. It's a great group, and to be able to make the show with, I don't know, 40, 50 some guys in here, it's pretty awesome. Would have liked to go a little bit longer with green flag, but the Evergreen Raceway number 33 is in the big show.
Not only did you make the show, you won your heat race. So this is as you were saying, your first races with these guys. Give the viewers a little bit of a breakdown on what it's like to drive one of these modifieds here at Stafford Motor Speedway. A little bit of the difficulty level compared to maybe other tracks on iRacing.
It's tough. I'm not one of the greatest racers on iRacing. I normally stick to announcing, head announcer at Evergreen Raceway in Drums, PA. So I'm just out there making laps, and appreciate the guys that have been helping me out with setup and just giving me pointers and spotting, and it's fun. I enjoyed it. I'm just going to ride around here, to kind of see what we can do. I'm not really going balls to the wall, but we're just going to ride around.
Awesome. Now, Ted, anybody you would like to thank real quickly before you have to hit the grid and strap in for 75 laps?
Yeah, I got to thank my good friend Skip Lynn for the setup. Him and I were working on the setup a little bit. He was supposed to jump in here, but something came up. Just wanted to make the race. Dylan for hosting East Coast, Riley O'Keefe for some setup help. And obviously Evergreen Raceway, my home track where I get to announce each and every Sunday. So looking forward to it.
That's what we like to hear. Maybe we'll have you back in the booth here as a podium finisher here at the end of this 75 lapper. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Heat 2 winner, Ted Groh. And it sounds like Ted is focused and ready to rock and roll here for tonight's.
Absolutely right. He's focused. He's ready to go. He won his heat race, and he's going to try and continue that mentality all the way throughout this 75-lap feature here. What you're looking at right now on your screen is the last bit of warm-up that these drivers are going to get before this race starts. We're actually on the inside of the number 41 Alex McCullum car. Just going to watch him kind of burn the tires up just a little bit, get him kind of warmed up, and make sure his lines are right heading into each of the turns. These drivers get a little bit of warm-up after their heat races just to make sure that the car is in one piece, make sure it drives right, and it makes sure that the steering wheel points in the straight direction.
And if you remember last week, Alex McCullum, again, he led it from flag to flag. Now, I don't remember seeing him in the heat races here. Do they have some kind of rule or something where you have to start in the back, or how does that work here with the heat races? I think the best to answer that would probably be Dylan Kopeck. Let's pull him in here. And Dylan, I hope we're not interrupting on anything. Thank you again for having us call this race. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Doing well, man. We had a quick question. We didn't see Alex McCullum out there in the heat races. Do you guys have some kind of rule with the previous winner running heat race?
We don't have a rule for the person that wins last week. He was in the practice. I didn't see him in the heat races. It looks like he's starting first on the. I don't know if I think he time trialed in the top 20.
Gotcha. Okay, we were expecting to see him up front in the heat races and didn't see him at all, so not exactly sure what was going on there. Thank you for clearing that up. We had a little bit of an action-packed heat race in there. In the first heat, if you can just kind of clear up for us, we saw maybe like 5 or 6 pace laps. What was the reason for the extended caution?
That was on iRacing. That wasn't anything I extended or nothing like that. It was just the caution came out. We were getting ready to go, I think, 1 to green, and that just happened to be the end of the heat.
Got it. Yeah, we had a couple questions, so we wanted to clear that up for the viewers. Man, you guys are putting on one heck of a show already. You got some of the usual faces up front. Looks like you're going to have some new faces as well, including the Heat 2 winner of Ted Groh. Anybody you would like to shout out while we got you here?
I just like to say thanks to you guys and Design Lab for being a partner for always. And just like to say thanks to everybody that showed up tonight.
Awesome, and it's always great being here, being able to call this action for you, Dylan, and the rest of the crew. Paul and I definitely enjoy it, and we will talk to you at the end of the...
Absolutely, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, that was the GM of the league, Dylan Kopeck.
Yep, talking to Dylan, getting everybody the warm-up. You see in the checker flag in the air, that 5-minute warm-up is done, so we're going to get these cars lined up 2 by 2 by 2 all the way down through. And you heard him say it. He wanted to thank everybody that showed up. That was 49 drivers that showed up to qualify for this event. And as we just had cleared up, the top 20 qualifying times were already moved directly to the A-Main, or the feature event that we're lining up right here. And the top 5 drivers from those 2 heat races. So anybody in the top 20... anybody that qualified, rather, in the top 20 didn't actually run the heat races. Only the drivers that had to race their way in. So it was good to get that cleared up.
That definitely makes sense why we didn't see some drivers in it. So, nonetheless, here we go. We're going big-time racing. And we'll start up front with our pole sitter, the number 41, last week's winner that led it from a lap to lap. Ladies and gentlemen, the number 41 of Alex McCullum. Second place, we saw Kyle Eli run right up there with him last week. That second place driver will be in the number 7 of Kyle Eli. Third place will be the 12 ride of Kyle Sisko. Fourth place will be Derek Glukaki in the number 3. The fourth place looks like the fifth place will be Ryan Levy in the 46. Sixth place will be the 48 of Justin Brown in the 48, again, starting 6th place. Chris Silvestri in the 74. Followed up, he'll be next to Ryan O'Keefe, starting 8th. Starting 9th will be the 55 of Teddy Hodgson. And rounding out your top 10 will be the 015 of Jake Johnson. And just quickly through the rest of the field, next will be Tommy Kramerborg. He'll be in the 85. Followed up the 36 of Ryan Lutz will be side by side with him. Ray Fataruso will be in the 26. The 17 of Reagan Parent. The 49 of Ryan Blanchard. Ryan Fern will be in the 20 machine. David French will be in the 87. The 5 of Michael Hendrickson will be starting 18th. 19th will be Kyle Elwood in the 88. Starting 20th will be the 10 of Nick Anglace. And that will be rounding out our field here. Got a couple more that will be in the back, but we're running out of time. We're about to go green.
Back up front, the pace car pulled off. The green flag is in the air. Everybody's nice and tight up front, 2x2x2, heading down, screaming into turn number 1. A little bit of action down towards the back, but it looks like a nice clean start up here in the front.
Beautiful start up front as we're going to cycle through the field here as we are still side by side for the lead. Eli not letting McCollum go easily. Just because he led every lap last week doesn't mean he's going to just get away with it easily here as he's able to barely clear Eli there. Coming out of 4 as we roll into.
You can almost see as these drivers head into turn 1, it's almost like the high line is preferred in 3 and 4, but the low line is preferred in 1 and 2. And these drivers, you can see there's a dark dark line that kind of goes all the way through. Some guys trying to follow on rails, and other guys that are kind of getting knocked up inside, outside, and not quite getting the preferred line.
The 12 of Kyle Sisko takes over that 3rd position as the 3 car is stuck on the outside of Derek Lukaki. He's able to barrel his way in front of Ryan Libby, able to get that spot. This is definitely one of those tracks where it's a one-groove track. It's really hard to stay side by side. You have to really have a good setup underneath you, and these guys do not have fixed setups. They are running their own custom setups. As the next battle in the back is the 69 of Ryan O'Keefe. He's trying to hold off Jake Johnson in the 015, and we got a caution.
Caution here on the speedway. We're going to get these guys woed up and see if we can't figure out exactly what happened there.
It's something to do with the 88 of Kyle Elwood, Paul. That's what it's looking like to me. Looks like he may have got a little bit of help getting sideways coming out of.
Back this videotape up just a bit. That's the glory and the excellentness of the iRacing simulation. Pulling these replays up is usually relatively smooth, but we're going to take a look here, see exactly what happened, why we're under the yellow at this point. Looks like we had a side-by-side battle here, and 98 just looks like a connection issue behind them, but we got contact between the 88 and the 10. 88 car comes in, kind of gives them enough room. Doesn't look like that's an issue. Oh, there we go. The connection issue was with the 11 car, and just kind of bumped right into the 88, sent them around. Didn't quite get them into the wall, but doesn't look like there's too much damage on that car, so that's definitely good news. We're still early on. It's lap 7 here of 75.
And what we saw there in the back was the 98 of Ray Parent Jr. made a little bit of contact with that car that was having connection issues that we were focused in on of that 88. So hopefully the connection issues are done there. And as you're going to see these guys get lined back up and go.
Everybody just trying to make sure everything's tight, make sure the belts are tight, make sure everything's kind of clear going through their head. We were able to get some green flag racing in here just to kind of feel the cars out, figure out exactly what's going on. You're going to see there's probably going to be a couple of pit cars down on pit road making repairs and that's such, and doesn't look like there's any takers down on pit road. Just the crews taking in the sights. If you've ever had the opportunity watching any kind of racing from pit lane at Stafford Motor Speedway, definitely a sight to behold.
And we're going to do something kind of special for you guys here, that we're actually going to start in the cockpit of the 3rd place driver. You can kind of get an idea of what these guys see. So when they line back up here, we're going to start off in the cockpit of the 3rd place driver. And you get a kind of, like I said, an idea of what these guys go through on a restart. It's not the easiest thing, especially here on a short track, as the pace lights are off.
Pace lights are off. We're going to jump right inside this Kyle Skisky. Sorry, bud. Kyle S.
That's going to be Kyle Sisko.
The number 12 car. We're gonna kind of ride shotgun here, as it were. Luckily, we've got that little mesh right there in the window, so nothing's going to come flying through the windshield. But going to get the green flag to fly here.
All right, the green flag is out, and there's a big wreck behind them, Paul. Big wreck behind them. Big pile up. Half the field is involved in that one. Wow, dear Lord, did not expect to see that one happen. And didn't mean to cut you off there, buddy, but the entire field almost completely taken out. Man, oh man, oh man. And it all started with the 48 of Justin Brown. He looks like he connects with the 015, and it all breaks loose from there.
Yeah, Big Wreck, we're just backing up the tapes here. You can see, just looking through the tapes to find out exactly what happened here. We're going to pull it back up and bring it to you here. And you can actually see the flagman is still waving that green flag as these guys are wrecking. And we're going to take a look. 41, an old 15 is around. He gets into the 69 machine. The 36 is involved. Looks like the 10, and you can see the pace car is actually driving right back out on the track. Got cars upside down. All sorts of carnage here at Stafford Speedway. And it's an unfortunate event. A lot of this stuff isn't going to be able to get fixed, even in the iRacing or the simulation world. But, he's got a couple of truck cars are actually smoking. But you'll see these guys are definitely going to come down pit lane, kind of hammer out some of the damage, and see what they can get for the rest of this race.
And Paul, unlike the iRacing podium that you see on Sunday afternoons where they actually give those drivers a restart, because I guess real drivers aren't as good on iRacing as they are in real life. These guys don't get restarts. They don't get resets. What they have is what they have. The damage that they get, if it can't be fixed in pit road, it can't be fixed. You have 75 laps to go on not only the same tires, but nothing gets reset here. So you don't really have that mulligan to fall back on. So that's why you see certain drivers get up front and they just do all they can to check out. As a 26 car now is going to head down pit road of Ray Fadaruso. Just caught that as he was heading down pit road, as Nick Ferlino was still down there as well, getting service on his machine. He was involved in that big accident. Other than that, it looks like it's going to be business as usual back up front with our one and only here, Alex McCollum, trying to do it from flag to flag.
Wouldn't be the first time. I imagine it won't be the last. Alex McCollum actually has a DWC, a Drivers' World Championship iRacing license. He's one of the better iRacers in this field, and we definitely saw that last week. Like you said, Alex led from flag to flag, green flag all the way through the caution flags, all the way to the very end at the checkered flag. And you got to wonder, does he have what it takes to be able to do that again for a second week here in a row?
He always comes in here as a favorite, and you see why. And if you're wondering, why are there two cars in front of Alex? Well, those two cars are trying to get the wave around. One of them is the 69 of Riley O'Keefe, who I don't think is going to be waving around. I think he's staying out to the very last second so he can pick up the positions of the drivers that are disconnecting, and they are retiring early because of that accident, so he's able to pick up those positions for points. And then you got Tommy Kramborg here in the 85 ride. He's probably doing something similar. I don't think he's going to park it. He probably got caught in the tail end of the lead lap after that accident, so he's going to be able to get a wave around here as soon as we get the one to go, and he will line up at the tail end of the field.
That 69 machine you were seeing definitely has some terminal damage. As you can see, he's starting to pull him down on the apron. That's not the 69, sorry, that's the 9. Definitely some terminal damage. Black smoke pouring out of the back of that machine. You got to figure he's just working on getting all the spots that he can of all these drivers retired, and you can see these lap cars are actually getting sent to the back, to the end of the longest line. No wave arounds here today, so we're going to jump back up here to the leader, catch this restart with Alex McCollum in that number 41 car.
And because of the amount of cautions that we're having so quickly, we're going to do a single file start here as the green flag is out. Alex McCollum laid some down into turn one. Hot on his bumper, though, is still that 7 ride, ladies and gentlemen. Kyle Eli, he came so close but so far away of getting the win last week. He wants redemption here on Alex McCollum.
Right on his bumper. We're actually going to jump in shotgun with the number 7 car, see if we can do this again. See, as he tries to chase down, you see he's running just a little bit lower than that number 41 car, trying to make up all the time that he can, all the real estate that he can.
Again, these guys are running custom setups. They're not all running fixed setups, which you see a lot of the time in iRacing. These guys make their own setups. So these guys are trying to figure out, each one of these individuals, what does it take to be Alex McCollum. He has hit on a setup that obviously works for him, and it makes him stronger than anybody else out here.
Stronger this week, stronger than anybody last week in qualifying and in the feature event. And you can see that these drivers kind of tweak their setups just a little bit to kind of work with their driving styles and everything like that. And you can see that he's right in those tracks, and you can see it's a little bit loose down on that flat apron down there, and coming out of turn number 2, gathers it back up, but definitely still has the 41 machine of Alex McCollum in his crosshairs.
Looks like we finally have reached a rhythm in this race. We're able to stay green flag for a few laps, which allows these guys to kind of get into a rhythm, get in the feel of their setup, get comfortable, start making some lap times, not as much worrying about, making it to the next caution, as they are just making some laps as the 9 dives underneath the 5 here for the battle for 11th. That's the biggest battle right now on the track, and he's not able to make that pass just of yet there. Nice little battle there. But up front, there is four cars like pigs under a blanket here that's battling for this second position. Kyle Eli watching the 41 walk away, but right on his bumper is Derek Kaluki in that 3.
See if we can't look back here from the 7 car. All those cars trying to fight him for the second position as he's trying to get that position away from Alex McCollum. So you got to figure he's fighting on 2 different sides of this race car, both front and back. But it's single file behind them, and everybody, you can see everybody's kind of racing right on that white line. The apron here at Stafford Speedway is not out of bounds, but it's definitely somewhere you gotta, if you're gonna go down there, you need to make sure you know exactly what you're doing, because it definitely gets pretty sketchy down there.
Derek Gluhacki was all over the bumper there. Kyle Eli going through 1 and 2. Almost gave him the chrome horn, but thought better of it. Still a long way to go. Only lap 24, not even halfway. Again, you're only running on this race on 1 set of tires. That's all you get. You don't want to burn them up too quick. It's very easy to do that. You see the guy ahead of you just walking away, you want to pound that throttle, and you want to get up there and you want to get around him. So not easy just to ride around and try to save your stuff, but be competitive at the same time. As further back in the pack, the 48 of Justin Brown, he makes his way around the 88 ride of Kyle Elwood, and that's going to be a battle for the 20th position. It's caution is out. Caution is out.
We're going to back this replay up here just a little bit. These guys get woed down, figure out exactly where they're supposed to be in the running order, and get everything lined back up. But not before we take a look at the replay, see if we can figure out exactly where this started.
It looks like it started with the 5 car, Paul. The 5 car cut low on the 9 and just plain old dumped him. And then he plain old dumped him. Michael Hendrickson dumps the 9, and it looks like the 9 made sure that he finished him off as well. So I guess we can mark that up too, as Joey Logano would say, short track.
It's short track racing, as it were. You can see there's 4 drivers here looking for one particular spot on the racetrack, and the 9 looks like it's just nowhere to go. 5 comes in, and it just sends the 9 on the back end of the car, the 9 car around. Doesn't look too crazy bad on the damage end of the spectrum. We'll see if anybody comes in driving through this wreck, and it looks like they're able to kind of clear the track off to make sure that nobody else gets involved. But tough break for these guys. Hopefully they can get the damage worked out and get back into this race.
You never want to see that. Never want to see 2 drivers just battling hard like that and someone just get dumped. But it's dog eat dog here in short tracks, especially when you're running these tracks that only have 1 groove. You can't sit there and battle side by side. You can't expect to make a groove work that's not working. If when there's only 1 line that's working, you go for it, and sometimes you got to move somebody. Now in this league, I believe if you do that, you get an EOLO. If you're deemed at fault of an accident, you may end up at the end of the longest line. So it's a risk reward thing here if they deem you on fault.
Yep, just like real life, just like in many iRacing leagues that run across the board, they aren't going to tolerate for any kind of wrecking or anything like that. Obviously, mistakes happen and short track racing happens, but definitely you want to make sure that you're not having guys going out and just wrecking anybody just because for the sake of it.
All right, Paul, we're going to pull the driver here, Ryan Libby, into the booth, the driver of the 46 ride, that butt kicker ride there. What's going to take here, man, to break into that top 5 and maybe run down to Alex McCall?
I don't know, guys. It's pretty hard to pass right now. I threw a completely different setup in from last week, and I think I made a mistake on the setup, and I just don't have the drive off like I did last week. So it's definitely going to be tough. It's extremely hard to pass, especially when you're tucked up behind someone.
We're noticing that in the back. We're noticing guys getting punted. We're seeing guys get washed up the track. Big wreck in the beginning there. We won't keep it too long, but is there anybody you would like to thank here while we got you in the booth, Mr. Matt?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Dylan Kopak for putting this on, and thank you guys for broadcasting. You guys do a good job. I was watching the broadcast last week, so you guys do a great job. Thank you.
No problem at all. I see you're about to double up for the restart, so we won't keep you any longer. Good luck. Hopefully we can interview at the end in the top 3. All right. right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Ryan Libby, the driver of the 46 ride there that you're watching here, lining up P6. Good to hear from a driver right from the cockpit, right in the heat of the battle, right from the front line. So the pace car lights are off, heading back down pit road. And Paul, we're about to go back green flag race.
Green flag is in the air. Stafford Motor Speedway. These guys take off here, heading down into turn number 1. Great restart for the number 41. Doesn't quite clear the inside car of Kyle, or the outside car rather. Gets it done that time. Now we've got the number 3 heading on the inside of Kyle Elliott.
3 wide in the back, the 10 clips the 13, and we are wrecking. I'm sorry, Paul. We went 3 wide in the back there coming off turn 2. 3 cars trying to fit where they could not, and before you know it, you got cars all over the place on this track. That was the 10 of Nick Anglace. He tried to put in the middle of the 13 and the 12. Well, the only thing they were missing was an 11. And the 13 tried to come up, and yep, that didn't work, as we're bringing you up the replay.
Yeah, we're going to back up through the replay here, find out exactly what went on there. It looks like we got exactly what we're looking for. We'll get going on this and take a look, and we'll look at it in slow motion, see if we can't take a look, get some closer details here. Going to focus in on that number 10 car.
And it looks like they are going to be marking that up on the Gerard car, or the Gerard car. They're going to mark the 13 at fault on.
We'll focus in on the number 13. As you can see, the 13's down low, the 10's up high. 3 wide behind.
Just 3 wide, and it just doesn't work out. It does not work out. 3 cars going for the same spot.
Yep, the 12 car collides in with the 13 car, 20 car. Ryan Fern heads down low. No damage there. Car actually does a couple of barrel rolls. That's the 10 car. Guys going down into John Deere country in the grass, making sure that all that grass gets taken care of. Gets a little bit shorter, as I'm not entirely sure the maintenance guys are working up at Stafford Motor Speedway with everything going on right now. But these SK Modified drivers are making sure they take care of that. But we'll pull this back up to a live feed and get everybody stacked right back up. Looks like we're going to have a single file restart because of that quick caution, and make sure that we get all the action covered.
All right, so we're going to get the heat of the battle. We're going to get Gerard in here. We're going to bring him into the booth. And we are here with the 13 driver, Gerard. What happened there, man? It looks like 3 cars going for the same real estate.
Yeah, I kind of felt that way. I don't know if it was just netcode or what, but the wheel kind of just jerked right in my hand. So I'll take the EOL, no big deal, and we'll just start racing cleaner from here on out.
Man, you guys are putting on a show tonight for these viewers. The heat races were pretty intense, and you guys are just following it up here with the features. It seems like there's not much room to pass, and when there is an opportunity, you're just having to take it. All right, and I think the driver of the 13, are you still there with us?
Yeah, I got you guys cut out there for a minute.
Yeah, no worries. It's just saying it seems like there's not much room to pass here. When you get an opportunity, you're having to take it.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're going to have to at this point. It feels so stacked and so tight that you got to get whatever you can.
Totally understand that. You're doing a heck of a job out there, man. The pace car lights are out, so we'll put you back up there. Good luck for the rest of this race.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that was the number 13 driver there that was just out in that accident of Dale Gerard Jr. So here we go. Pace lights are out. Looks like we're going to be back single file, and that's exactly what Alex McCollum wants.
Yep, you're exactly right. He's got that clear narrow up front, and he doesn't have to worry about anybody on the inside or the outside because of the single file restart. So all he has to do is focus on making sure that steering wheel's nice and straight, hammering down, heading down into to turn number 1. But coming off turn 4, the pace car's out, green flags in the air. Great start by the 41, but it looks like we actually got a car way down low in 5th place. Gonna see if we can take a look what's going on there.
That's the 46. We just talked to the 46, by the way, of Ryan Libby, who's making his way up. The 74 did not get the start he wanted, opening up the door not only for Libby, but he opened it up for the 12 of Cisco, and there goes the 55 trying to open up the door himself.
Hard racing here at Stafford Speedway, just like any Friday night, as we're halfway, just crossed the halfway point of this race, and seems like the 55, everybody kind of gathers it back up, single file here at this point, just kind of looking at the number 55 right now. He's trying to get up to the 74, but he's also trying to battle back with the 9. These guys are taking on all comers at this point, front, back, and anytime, anywhere these cars are coming from.
What about, oh, we got to spin. The 48 turns. The 98, he retaliates right away. And the 48 goes back up the track and wrecks the field behind him. Justin Brown, he goes back up onto the track, taking out oncoming traffic. Not exactly sure what was happening there. Wow, the 98 gets into the 48. He backs it up, takes out the 07, takes out the 1 as well with him. Tough break for those drivers. That's not what you want to see.
No, you hate to see it. We're going to pull that replay right back up here. You saw the carnage there live as it was getting wrapped up, and it's unfortunate to have these guys just kind of come up the racetrack. You never want to see that because that's dangerous in both real life and in the simulated world. But we'll take a look at the slow-mo replay. We're on board here with that machine that just wrecked. And just kind of coming down into turn number 1. It's on board
he just plows him.
Yeah, he just plows right into the back of the 98 car, sends him on his way. How's it going? Nice to see you. Boots him right up. And then it looks like he gets some help from that 98 car on the other side of the back end of that car. Backs him around, sends him up towards the wall. Doesn't quite make it because the 87 car was there. And,
I mean, you can't blame him, Paul. If I'm in that seat and this guy just drives through me like that, I'm going to be pretty upset, and I'm going to send him for a ride too. So looks like he was actually black flagged. Not only was he given a EOLL, meaning end of longest line, because he caused the incident, but they just straight up black flagged him, said get off the track. So that will be it for Justin Brown.
Removed from this race. He's been parked. He's been sent down to pit lane. He's gonna have a little bit of time here as we got 33 laps to go. He's gonna have some time to think about exactly what he did there. It's unfortunate. You never want to see any kind of intentional racing or intentional wrecking. Easy enough for me to say, but it's short track racing. Tempers flare, and we're all caged up here at Stafford Speedway. So we gotta make sure that we're keeping an eye on everything.
Paul, what a battle right now that we are having. This is pure short track racing. This is what we like to see. Tempers are going to flare. Maybe there was a pass there with Justin and as well as the 98 of Ray Parent Jr. that may have boiled over. You just you don't know unless you catch it. But nonetheless, Justin Brown is gone. Back up front is Alex McCollum, and who lives to see another day after that? It's going to be the 98 of Ray Parent Jr. And we move on. It hurts for the guys like Tyler Leary that was caught up into that. They're just innocent victims and all of that.
Yeah, most definitely. But focusing up front, we're looking at Alex McCollum up front in the number 41. I think he took everybody by surprise last week. Really laid it down and put a hurt on this entire field. The pace lights turned off on that Mustang pace car. This week it seems like we got some hard chargers up front. We got 4 or 5 cars that are able to keep right up with Alex McCollum. So you got to wonder if they work together on setups or if they just had a lot of practice. I know before all the heat races, we had a 60-minute practice session, and there were many drivers here that were able to get upwards of 70, 80, even 100 laps of practice time in, and that's just tonight. That's not counting this afternoon or earlier this week.
Man, oh man, Paul, we are past the halfway point now. The green's about to fly, and the green flag is out. We were back here racing at Stafford Motor Speedway. Your leader still, Alex McCollum, since last.
Kyle Elliott, the number 7 machine, looking low, still looking low, coming off onto the back stretch. He's still looking low. He's peeking. He's trying to see what he can do, what he has to do to get around that number 41 of Alex.
He's going to make the move, has to be on the start. And the 88 gets a little loose, so does the 5. The 5 spins it out. The 5 is spinning all on his own here, exiting turn 4. That Michael Hendrickson ride, he wrecks all by himself. I believe we don't have a... Yes, now the caution is out. The caution is out. Looks like he was... just kind of, we got a little bit of help from the 98. I saw the 88 get loose. He looked like it checked up for him, and the 98 did not.
Take a look here on the instant replay. We're on board with the 5 car. See if we can figure out what went on here. You saw the aftermath as he was just kind of parked on the track. Luckily, there was no traffic coming. But we'll take a look in real time. Focus in on the 5 car. And now the 88 just gets loose and heads up the track, and as the 5 heads down to the grass to try to avoid him, looks like he just gets spun around. So he doesn't hit anything on that 5 machine. Nobody hit him. Maybe a little bit of damage from the wall right there, but nothing too terrible. We'll see if they can back that up again and find out what went on with that 98 car.
Yeah, that 98's already heated. You know he's heated from Justin Brown just a couple laps before. just moments ago. He got spun out, and he's probably upset. He didn't want to wait up for that 5, but he had to. And he just I wouldn't say he drove through him as bad as he got driven through, but patience are wearing thin here as we're coming down close to that mark of 15 to go.
Yeah, and you hate to see it, but it looks like he's still on track at this point, still in the lead lap, so you still got a fighting shot at this. We got 27 laps here to go at Stafford Speedway. Under caution again, but we've had some great green flag racing here at the track, and it's awesome to see all these guys. A lot of guys that ran here last week. There's a lot of guys that have actually run the official Stafford Speedway esports race that have been put on, so it's very cool to see a lot of familiar names here in the iRacing world and the real-life racing world at Stafford Speedway and all the other northeastern racing tracks.
Paul, this has been a heck of a show so far. This isn't a race that we expected to go green from flag to flag. We didn't expect that whatsoever. What we expected was hard-nosed racing, and that's what we're getting, because that's what you get at Stafford Motor Speedway. It's a track with not much grip and only one lane, and that's what you got. And I'm going to listen in the driver's channel here.
Yeah, but each one of these drivers is connected to that same driver's channel. Some of us up here in the booth have it, some of us don't, just to the lack of headsets and all of that, but it's a really cool thing, a feature that iRacing has that you don't necessarily have in real life, and you're able to talk to the driver, apologize if you need to, or tell them to get the heck out of the way. If you don't want to use that chrome horn to move anybody, you can ask politely over the voice chat.
How often do they ask politely, Paul?
I try to do it at least once or twice.
That's once or twice more than I do. I feel like they give us bumpers for a reason, Paul Strickland Jr., and I'm going to use it. But we are back here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Again, the 41 of Alex McCollum leading this flag to flag. Can that 7 or maybe somebody else make a move and uproot him from that point position here on the start? Here we
Pace car pulls down pit road again here. Everybody's all the way up to the line. Single file restart. Green flag in the air. 41 gets a great start, but the 7 car gets a little bit of a better start. You can see again, he's looking low again, and we got a battle. Oh, we got a battle for third. It looks like the 3 car gets a little bit of a bump, and by a little bit, I mean a huge bump.
I think the 3 car got a little bit more of a bump than he was expecting. He hopes to pay that one back as they are still nose to tail for 3 and 4. Can we get a green flag lap in? It looks like we will, with Alex McCollum still at the point. With Kyle Eli in that 7, not too far behind as they're bumper to bumper, and the 3 lays it into the 12, coming off of turn 2. He gets low on the 12 now. Look at the 3 go. That 12 of Cisco's under fire, and there's the 3, gives him a shot up the track. Derek says, you give me one, I'll give you one just right back, and he jumps right back in to that 4th position.
Long way to go and a short time to get there for Derek Lukaki as he moves up to the 4th spot, and he puts a little bit of space between him and the guy behind him. He's going to try and focus his sights in on the 46 of Ryan Libby and see if he can't get up there with that leader, Kyle Ellie and Alex McCollum in the front 2 spots, see if he's got anything for these guys.
74 gets a 12, a bump on the outside, but to no avail. He tried to kind of just bump him out of the way there, and it didn't work out. That's where your heat of the moment is right now, between the 12 and the 74. That 12 ride of Kyle Cisco. We've seen him in a little bit of action earlier, and he's ready to rock and roll now. He's done waiting around. He wants in that top 5, and I don't think that he's going to be saving any more tires as we are coming through lap 57.
19 laps to go, and it's go time. These guys know that there's less than 20 laps here to go at Stafford Speedway, and being that this is a half-mile track, that's only 10 miles, and these guys heading into turn number 1 here, you know exactly that these guys are cranking on the afterburners. You want to make sure that you got everything that you absolutely positively can for the last 5-10 laps of this race.
These wild SK modifieds, they literally have a chrome bumper on the front of them, and these guys are not afraid to use it, and we've seen that in the last 58, 59 laps, and here we go again. That 74 now is of Chris Silvestri. He's putting pressure on the 12, but the 12's able to rotate in the center just a little bit better, able to drive.
You can see the 76 as he dips down low. He's trying to figure out exactly what his car's going to do on the inside of that 12 if he can get that spot in there. You can see coming in, heading down into the corners and coming off. He's just a little bit lower. He's about half a car width lower, just trying to see if he can make up any kind of real estate on that 12 car, see if he makes a mistake or anything like that heading into turn number 3.
And right on the bumper of the 74 is Ryan Blanchard. Ryan Blanchard trying to figure out how he can make his way around Chris Silvestri in the 74. Chris trying to figure out how can he get around Cisco in that 12. It's all a game of cat and mouse here, just within a few feet of each other, doing about 120, 110 miles an hour straight out into these corners. This is great.
Chestnut checkers, but 120 miles an hour. Oh, car on the wall, bumps the wall, no caution. That was the, looks like the 42 machine.
The 49 of Ryan Blanchard.
49 machine. Doesn't seem, that's actually the 9 car on our screen here, 43 for scoring purposes. Doesn't look like it slowed him down too much. He's still able to close up on the 74 car, but you definitely made sure he was paying attention as he pancaked that outside wall.
That battle is still heating up, but even further up in that battle, we're starting to see a little bit of heat being put onto the 3 car of Lukács. He has some pressure behind him from Teddy Hodgson. He's all over him. He sees 4th place, and he wants it now. And the caution is out. The caution flies. One more time, the caution is out, and it looks like this will involve our Heat 2 winner, the 33 of Ted Groh was involved in this one.
Pull it on up on the instant replay, back these tapes up, and figure out exactly what went on here. We're going to try and focus here on the number 33 car. We spoke to him earlier tonight here on the broadcast, and he was focused. He was ready to go, and absolutely wanted to make sure that he put on a great show for all the viewers here. So we'll pull this back up, slow motion, taking a look. You got the 33 on the outside, the Yeti machine on the inside. Looks like a Yeti machine behind him, too, coming out of the turn and side by side. See what went on here. It looks like it almost looks like he didn't look left before he went down there. You gotta wonder, it doesn't look like that was any kind of intentional or anything like that, but the 015 was there, and he just kind of bumps the 33 up the track at that point. It looks like it was just going for a spot that just wasn't there at that point. So maybe it was just hard to see those 2 black Yeti team cars there. Doesn't look damage doesn't look too bad at this point, so looks like he's going to be able to kind of straighten his wheel out and head right back to the track.
Yeah, that's a short track race in there, man. It doesn't matter who it is, friend, foe, teammate, whatever it may be. It's that's basically what you see. It.
Yep, 10 to go, and you can see he's not even going to come down pit road at this point. He's just going to kind of ride it out and see where he ends up. As we're less than 10 to go. We're going to probably restart with 7, maybe 8 laps to go here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Here, this is race number 2 for the East Coast Winter League SK Modified Division. It's run by put on by Dylan Kopeck and those guys, and they run Stafford Speedway every single week. And these guys they run open setups. So as the races go on, as the weeks go on, these guys are going to figure out exactly what works, what doesn't work with their setups, and make sure that they get all the tweaks in that they can to try and get up there with Ryan Libby, Kyle Ellie, and Alex McCollum, who are pretty much our top 3 and have been the top 3 all night long.
We've seen Alex do it before, and he's doing it one more time. He's leading from flag to flag, and you got to be as a competitor, you get sick of seeing that. You really do. You have respect for a driver. You know they're good, but you're like, dong it, like, what's it going to take to beat this guy? And you rack your brain sometime about it, especially if you're in a points battle. But hey, it's what you do. These guys know how to set up their cars. He has a lot of sim racing experience. He has some real racing experience, I do believe, as well. He knows what he's doing here, and he's not afraid to show it off, as we see him again leading, coming to about 5 to go here. And the pace car has its lights off, and there are no green-white checkers here, Paul. I did just hear that. No green-white checkers.
As you can see, 41 and a lot of the cars behind him warming those tires up one final time. You want to make sure that you've got all the grip that you possibly can coming onto the backstretch. We're going to take a good look here. You're going to be able to see that all these guys are going to be restarting single file. Everybody's going to be all the way up towards the wall. This pace car is going to pull off here coming into turn number 3. Green flag immediately in there. Great start from the 41 car. He's already got 2, 3, 4, 5 car lengths heading down into turn 1. 46 looks like he's able to secure the second spot, and we're side by side for 4th on back.
Paul and Alex is doing what they didn't want to see him do, and that is walk away. Even though 46 is right there on his bumper of that Libby, he's doing what he can. No, the 3 gets a bump from the 12. We've seen the 12 again in action. He is exactly where the action typically...
Beating and banging with that group. We're watching the 3 car. He's trying to get away from that number 12, but the 12 is trying to get advantage of the number 3 car. We got another car heading down low of the 12. All these guys are just racing for position. That's the number 74 machine of Chris Seversti.
He gets a little bit loose coming off of turn 4 there, and he's able to get it back together. He almost slides up to the car that was right in front of him there of Ryan Blanchard of that 49 ride, and they're now side by side in the 3 and 4, then driving it hard into the corner there into the back of Cisco is Teddy Hodgson. He wants that position. He wants a top 5 at the end of this. Paul, we are almost to the end, just a few more laps
to go, and that's a familiar name for anybody that watched the iRacing feature from Stafford Motor Speedway a few Fridays ago. He won that event after dominating in hard-charging fashion, and you got to figure he wants a top 5. He wants to win, but at this point, with 2 laps to go, he wants that top 5 right on the back bumper of that number 12 machine.
With the popsicle sticks out, he's trying to move the 12 as he gets to the high side of the 12. That's what these guys have been trying to do all night. Can he hold it out there? The 12 drives it in hard. He goes hard.
Oh, he turned him!
He turns him! He wrecks him! Oh, man, Kyle Cisco just gets hard-righted straight into the wall by Hodgins. Yeah, he wanted that top 5, and he's going to do whatever it took to do so. It's going to be interesting to see how they score this with those 2. But nonetheless, once again, ladies and gentlemen, coming across the line first will be the 41. And yes, Teddy will be getting a penalty. He will be finishing this race at the end of the lead lap.
Crazy finish, and that's one of those things. That's a thing that Teddy Christopher used to do all the time. Bump him once, let him know you're there. Bump him twice, there is no third time. He just kind of moved him right out of the way. Thought he was going to be able to finish in that 5th position, get a top 5 out of it. You can see there's some little bit of an intentional wrecking things going on after the checkered flag. You're going to wonder if that's retaliation for earlier on, or even with this last wreck here. But nonetheless, fantastic show here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Always a great time here with the East Coast SK Modified drivers. We're going to see if we can't pull up some of these guys into the broadcast booth and get a little bit of an interview.
Absolutely. I think we got some guys that are going to be on their way. I'll tell you what, man, that is some jam-packed, non-stop action here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Awesome to see. We see Alex McCollum again lead it from flag to flag, as well as Ryan Libby and Kyle Eli. Again, 3 drivers that we usually see up front, and they're doing it again as now we see the 41 cutting some donuts, having some fun, celebrating this win, as it's much deserved here for, once again, your winner in the 41, going back-to-back, Alex McCollum.
Great win by Alex McCollum, but we're going to see if we can get some communications here. We're going to see if we can get Ryan Libby, the P2 finisher, the number 7 car, see if we can't get him down here in the booth and talk to us here. Ryan, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, great race. We saw Alex McCollum, that 41 machine, man. He was strong all night long. I'm sorry, you're the 46. You're not 7. But great racing all night long. You were able to kind of keep up in those top 4 or 5 cars. So it was great to see that, man. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I definitely got to work on qualifying. For some reason, I'm just missing that little bit in qualifying. Hopefully next week we could start up front. Definitely hard to pass. Everyone's so close and so tight here that, sometimes you gotta, sometimes you get a little contact here and there. You don't mean to do it. Just everyone's running so close and blocking. And so hopefully next week we could start a little more up front so we don't have to do as much passing.
Awesome to hear, and that's actually something Wes and myself were talking about early on in this race. You're able to see that these guys kind of work. They've got an open setup, so they can tweak their setups from race to race and kind of see what works, what doesn't work. But nonetheless, awesome performance, Ryan. Just want to give you the opportunity. The floor is yours. Anybody that you want to thank, sponsors, friends, family, anything like that.
Yeah, just want to thank a few friends that are watching right now, and my sponsors, Butt Kicker and Crockett Creek Beef Jerky, and the North Forest Racing League that I belong to. Thanks, guys.
Awesome, great to hear. And that's your P2 finisher, the number 46 machine of Ryan Libby. I'm going to kick it on over to Rowdy Wesley Hogue. Who'd you catch up with, Wes?
I am here right now with Kyle Eli. Kyle, popping into a top 3 again, man. What a race. A lot of action happening behind you, but thankfully you were able to keep out of a lot of the damage.
Yeah, for sure. I can't believe I got another podium this week, but really was looking to get second there on the restart. I got to the inside, but I kind of screwed myself over when I hit the left rear of Ryan in front of me.
Kyle, one thing that we were noticing is you would get a great restart. You would be able to drive it into 1 and 2 and stay right there with them, but just not enough to even put the bumper to them if you wanted to. Talk us through that. I guess your frustrations, basically, of being so close. What's missing for you, Kyle?
Yeah, like you said, I could get a really good restart, but I think for the first 5 laps, my car really doesn't fire off as well as Alex does. But like last week, within the 10 to 15 lap range, we didn't really have a good long run. I could really, stay with him within 3 to 4 tenth range. But my car is just super tight. I don't have that well of an exit, and yeah, that kind of showed tonight.
Man, but you still put on a show. You were the one that was able to put the most heat onto Alex. He did it twice in a row. I know. As a competitor myself, I know that gets frustrating. I know you're ready to beat him. Maybe next week might be that time. But who would you like to thank? Anybody you would want to say hello or shout out to?
No, just congrats to Alex, and thanks Chris Silvestri for the base setup.
Awesome. Sounds good. And ladies and gentlemen, that was your third place finisher, Kyle Eli. One impressive run from Kyle. He did a really, really good job of putting on a show, being clean, and really keeping his nose clean and giving the pressure to Alex when he could. So, and speaking of Alex McCollum, man, I'm already getting sick of talking to you, Alex, and it's only been 2 weeks. Once again, from flag to flag, tonight's winner, Alex McCollum. Alex, how do you keep doing this? Do you even know what second place looks like?
Yeah. We just went to work hard this week. Found something new in the set. Looked like it worked. Just wish we got a little bit more green flag runs. Car was set up for a long run, but not too bad.
Alex, I don't think Paul or myself is used to dominating in the fashion that you dominate. When you dominate like this and you're running the same track the next week, is there really much work to do on the setup, Alex? Come on.
I mean, as a racer, you always want to find stuff to find more speed. I'm always looking for more speed. So I'm always adjusting springs, ride heights, all that kind of stuff to see if I can even find half a tenth, not even half a tenth. It's just like little by little means a lot here with how close the competition is.
Absolutely. Always trying to fine tune, because you never know who else is doing that and who's going to catch up to you when it comes to that notebook. Alex, I'm not sure if you saw any of the action that was going on behind you, but I've seen worse instances on the game Wreckfest. There was a lot of carnage. No doubt that you feel fortunate not to be in that kind of stuff, but even running up front, you're always under that pressure, and you're always looking out your back mirror, especially driving into turn 1 on the restart. Did you expect at any time that Kyle or even maybe Ryan might have given you that bumper?
I thought about it a few times. They had a good clean shot to give me a bump and run, but thankful they didn't, because kind of don't want to be back in that mess. But overall, I just had a really strong car tonight.
Awesome. And last but not least, who would you like to thank? Any shout outs? You're getting to spend victory lane one more time here again at Stafford Motor Speedway. Who do you want to say hello?
Splash and Go Graphics hooking this nice paint scheme up before the race tonight. You guys are broadcasting. Dylan putting on a good event with all these good car counts. Hopefully we can go 3 for 3 next week.
Good to hear. Paul, you got a few kind words for today's winner?
Yeah, we watched you that last week. You started the race up front. You went through the middle of the race up front, and you ended the race up front. And by gosh, you did the same thing this week. Led from flag to flag. You definitely had a little bit more of a challenge, it looked like, from the 46 and the 7, Kyle Ellie and Ryan Libby. Seems like those guys had a little bit of something for you, but you were able to hold them off, so it was great to see that, and it was good to see you win that in dominating fashion. Really looking forward to next Sunday night's race here at Stafford Motor Speedway, the virtual version.
Thank you.
No problem at all. And ladies and gentlemen, one more time, that is the back-to-back winner from flag to flag, Mr. I don't know what anything other than the first place looks like, Alex McCollum. Impressive run. Very impressive guy as well. Upstanding kid. Good to see guys like that being as professional in their interviews, professional on the track, and then bringing home wins. Always cool to see. Paul, one more week down. Hell of a race, don't you think?
Yeah, man, you're exactly right. These guys put on an awesome show. They put on a great show last week, but as many of the iRacing leagues, the first week is usually a little bit kind of on the rough start, but definitely figured it out this week. We got the heat races on the broadcast, and just learning more and more in the booth, learning more on the track, learning more and more about these drivers too. So, we had 49 guys show up here for 30 spots. And you got to wonder, the word's starting to get out. These East Coast guys, they know what's up. They know how to race these SK Modifieds, and they put on a fantastic show here at the virtual Stafford Motor Speedway.
Paul, I love being able to have the opportunity to call these guys. Dylan's a heck of a guy, and speaking of Dylan, I hope Dylan isn't too busy right now because we're going to drag Dylan down. We like doing this with the GM of the leagues that we broadcast for to get their recap of the race and their true feelings. Emotions are still running high. Dylan, we saw some action-packed racing, some exciting racing. We also saw some couple black flags having to fly. How would you grade tonight, Dylan?
Tonight I wasn't much of a fan. It was a lot more aggression tonight. I feel like people are getting a little more comfortable. So obviously you have to put the East Coast Winter League rules in effect and lay down the hammer a little bit. It was a good race altogether. I just feel like it could have been a little cleaner, and people could have been a little more patient because we definitely tore up some stuff tonight.
Now, to talk about the separate incident of, I believe it was Justin Brown, I believe was the driver's name. We saw him get a black flag after it looked like possibly went into a corner without any kind of courtesy. And we saw him get a black flag. If you could walk us through.
Yeah, so in the East Coast Winter League, we have a 3-strike rule. It goes for every driver. Everyone has their own ticker. I write down numbers as they cause cautions. Justin had an incident at earlier in the race, and that's the first strike. And the first strike is usually an end of the line penalty. Second strike is a 1-lap penalty, and then the third strike it's an automatic disqualification. That's why he got the 1-lap penalty because that was the second strike, and that went from there.
Totally understand. It's always good for the fans here because we're able to talk about it, but we don't know the rule book from word by word. So it's good to be able to clear that up. I know Paul wanted to talk a little bit about Alex, about his domination here. Go ahead and take it away. Oh, Paul's having a little bit of a mic issue. I apologize. I'll pick it up from there. Alex coming here and dominating in and out. Do you guys do a bounty? You gonna put a bounty on his head? We're gonna put a little bit of cheese on the line. What's it gonna take to dethrone Alex McCollum?
So Alex McCollum, he's a well-respected iRacer. He's been doing it for a long time. You guys, briefed over it quick last week. He comes to the track prepared. He's got a good setup, and he's always got his A game on. He qualifying up front is a huge advantage with this series here, and I'm not gonna give him a bounty yet. I'm gonna give him a couple more weeks. If he wins next week or in the week after or something like that, something where he's totally dominating, then what might do something fun. But I do appreciate Alex showing up. His level of professionalism with the series and just showing up and being prepared. It's really cool.
Good deal, good deal. And Paul, you get that microphone fixed over there?
Yeah, we got it worked out. We're working on some kinks, taking a look at some of the replays here from earlier on.
Paul had a couple words as well. From myself, Dylan, thank you again for having us. Man, it truly is a blast calling you guys and watching this action.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You guys, like I said last week, you guys do a great job. Definitely, keeps the fans watching. It's not really a huge league. It's something I just threw together, and we do have fun. You guys make it look real well on the screen. But I'm looking forward to next week, and hopefully we can clean up our guys.
And if you could for us, Dylan, if you could kind of give us give these fans a place where can they visit you guys? Where could they possibly sign up? Where do they find this East Coast?
So if you go up on Facebook, we do have a members group. If you are interested in joining, it's East Coast Winter League on Facebook. You just type that in, just click the request button, join. And if you're interested in running, there's a list of driver lists, and it's labeled, tells you exactly what to do. Just go down, comment your name, number, and one that's not taken, and then just shoot me a message, and we'll get you squared away.
Sounds good. I'm gonna hand it over to Paul here. He's gonna tackle a couple more questions with you, and we'll get you rocking and rolling.
Yeah, at this point, it was a great race here tonight. This is the second race of the season, and like I was telling Wes early on, the first race of the season, there's always some bugs to work out, and it looks like there's still a couple, but man, great race here tonight. Really looking forward to next week's race here, Dylan. Just got to give you the floor here. If there's anybody else that you want to thank, any sponsors, friends, family, anybody else there that's watching the home, the floor's all yours.
I just like to thank everybody that tuned in and watched on you guys' broadcast. Everybody that showed up to race to qualify their way in. I do know there's a couple guys that made it into the show last week. They actually didn't make it in this week, so it makes a huge difference in who's running for points. And I just like to thank everybody that's in this deal, helping us out and working all together. And I'm glad I got a good group of drivers.
Good group of drivers indeed, and I know Wes and myself had a blast calling the race here tonight, as we did last night or last week, as it were. But definitely a good show here at Stafford. Going to be racing here Sunday night next week, and Wes, another one in the books. We'll put a feather in the cap. Feel pretty good about that.
Absolutely, and we will bid Dylan a beautiful night. What a great job he did tonight. Another great race. We got another good one coming up here, and then just announced April 18th, ladies and gentlemen. April 18th, we're going to be doing a huge race for New Smyrna Speedway, and you will be able to catch it here. So make sure that you tune in for that. That will be at 3 p.m. Eastern. So, Paul, I think we're done.
Yeah, we're going to wrap that up. We're going to start shutting the lights off here at the track, shut the lights down in the broadcast booth. As always, thank you, everybody, for coming out. And we had 49 drivers here trying to get into this race. It took the top 30, took the top 20 qualifying times, top 5 from 2 heat races, and put on a fantastic show. But for Rowdy Wesley Hogue, for myself, Paul Strickland Jr., thank you guys for coming out. We hope this stream meets you in good health. Be healthy out there, be smart, and we will see you the next time we go live.